Hello everybody, welcome to ChinFat. In this episode I'm going to be showing you how to use your insert and overwrite and your lift and extract functions inside of Premiere Pro. First of all, the insert and overwrite functions really just function with clips that are in the source monitor that you're going to be placing into your timeline. And the lift and extract work within your timeline and your program monitor. First of all, let's load a clip into our source monitor. I'm going to hit Shift-1 to jump to my project window. I'm going to arrow over to the right here and choose this clip and hit Shift-O to open that up in my source monitor. Now I'm going to play through this and find a portion of this clip that I want to use. I'm going to grab my playhead here, move it into my clip. I'm going to find a portion of the clip that I want to use. I'm going to hit I for endpoint for the starting point, and then I'm going to hit L or spacebar for playing forward.
Okay.
The only thing that we're going to hurt on this trip are somebody's feelings.
Stop, and put O for out point. And say I want to use that clip. And I'm going to insert those into my timeline here. I'm going to hit Shift-3 to jump to my timeline and find a place where I want to put them. I'm going to arrow up and find a place where I want to put that clip. By the way, arrows up and down, arrow up will jump to the left, and arrow down will jump to the right and land on these edit points. And say I want to insert that clip between these two clips right here. Your shortcuts, if you hover over these, you'll notice insert is comma and overwrite is period. So let's show you what insert does. If I hit comma, it's going to insert that clip between these two clips. And notice what it did here. Notice how my audio has been somehow placed down onto this audio track below. These little highlighted areas here are what's called your source patching. Your source patching basically reads the clip that is inside of your source monitor and then tells the clip where to put its video and audio on your timeline. And right now I've got my source patching set up for video track 1, but I've got my single audio channel there. I've got my single audio channel, put it going to audio track 2. So all I have to do is click here and it changes that. This is reading the clip that's in my source monitor, and it reads that it has a video track and an audio track. I'm going to do Control-Z to undo. My playhead's still in the same place, and hit comma, and it drops it in and shoves everything else out. I'm going to undo that. And now watch what happens when I hit period. Period is the shortcut for overwrite. It eats into the clip and it does not push everything else down. Insert shoves everything else down. Overwrite overwrites over everything else. And a moment where you might want to use that is if you're doing like a B-roll edit. I'm going to undo this, and we want to change our source patching. I'm going to move up and put my source patching to video track 2 and video track 1. I'm going to activate this track as well. And now when I hit comma, notice what happens. It inserts and shoves everything down, but say I want to put that clip on top of this and have a B-roll edit to the top. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to hit period, and now notice it doesn't shove everything else down, but it overlays this video here and the audio underneath, and it doesn't shove everything else down. So now when we play through that, it will cut to this video and then cut back to this video, but it is playing both audio tracks as it moves through it.
It's on Facebook. You'll have to blow out my face. Okay.
The only thing that we're going to hurt on this trip are somebody's feelings.
Now let's go into the lift and extract function over here. I'm going to change my Control-Z, and I'm going to put my source patching back to normal. And let's go over lift and extract here. Lift and extract. What this does is it only works, it's like the source monitor that it has to have an in point and an out point to function. But it does it on the timeline here. Say we want to remove a portion of this clip here. I'm going to go to my timeline here. I'm going to hit I, and I'm going to play through this. Say we want to remove a portion, the beginning portion of this clip. I'm going to play through it. And say I want to remove that portion, I'm going to put out point. So I've got this range selected on my timeline, my in point and my out point. Now we're going to use lift and extract and show you what happens. The shortcuts for these, by the way, are the semicolon and the quotation mark. They're right next to each other. The semicolon will perform a lift. When I hit it, notice it pulled that clip out of there. It lifted the clip out of there. And now it has that clip portion ready to paste somewhere. If I hit Control-V, it'll paste it. Let's go to the very end here. I'm going to arrow down my timeline, go to the very end, and hit Control-V, and it pasted that range that I just lifted out of this area right here. I'm going to undo that, Control-Z, Control-Z. I've got the same area selected here. If I hit Extract instead, which is the quotation mark key, it actually pulls it out, and it does that little ripple edit. It pulls the gap together. It extracts it and fills it in. So now if I go down to the end of my timeline here, Control-V to paste, it pastes that in and out point in right here. And now when you want to clear an in and out point on your timeline on a PC, it is Control-Shift-X. We'll clear it. On a Mac, it is Option-X. And one other thing you can do to move your video clips around when you lift or extract, I'm going to extract a little piece here from the end of this video. I'm just going to put an in point and go to the end and put an out point, and I am going to lift this out. So I hit semicolon, lifts it out, and say you want to put your clip somewhere in the middle here, that extracted or lifted clip that I just pulled out right there. Say I want to put it between these two videos right here. So first of all, you got to arrow up and down till you get to the edit where you want to put it. Right there's where I want to put it. I'm going to hit Control V, and look what it does. It overwrites the video and eats everything in its path. That's if you hit Control V, or on a Mac, it would be Command V, as in paste. I'm going to undo that, and instead of doing an overwrite, I want to do an insert. So if you hold down Control, or on a Mac it's Command, Control Shift V, what it does, it will do a ripple paste, and it will place this in between those two files without eating over anything in its path. And one more tip about using your lift and extract tool here. I'm going to move into my clip. Say we want to take from this portion to the end of this clip. I put I for endpoint, and I arrow down to the edit, and you put O for here, this point here. You're going to have to be kind of careful here, because I zoom in on this, look at this. It is resting on the first frame of the next clip here. If I extract, it's going to pull out both those. It's going to extract this clip plus the first frame of the next clip. Let's test that out. I'll hit extract shortcut, go to the end of my timeline by hitting the end key and Control V and paste, and as I zoom up here, you'll notice it extracted the first frame of that one clip. So I'm going to undo that, Control Z, and there it is. So you got to be kind of careful there, because when you land on it, because when you arrow up and down, it'll land on the first frame of the next clip. So what I have to do here, I'm going to clear my in and out points. Let's do that again. Put I for in point, arrow down, and instead of being on the first frame of the next clip, I have to arrow back one frame, and it lands on the last frame of the previous clip. So now I can hit O for out point, and if I zoom up plus, notice I am not on the first frame. I do not have the first frame of the next clip selected. It ends on this clip's out point. So just be aware when you arrow up and down, if you arrow down, you have to arrow back one frame to have it on the last frame of the previous clip. And now when I extract, quotation for the shortcut, hit end, Control V and paste, I only have, let's zoom up, plus, and I don't have that one little teeny frame at the end right there. I've just got the rest of this clip instead. And those are the basics on insert and overwrite and lift and extract. If you have any questions, please post them. Thanks for watching.